Saturday vlog. I'll talk about what I've got going on. Went plant shopping this morning, so it's like 1:30. We've been kind of redoing all the landscaping around the house, just section by section working, you know, start on one side, go all the way to the other. So that's, you know, I got the mulch the other day. I showed some of those bags on camera. I got 50 bags. I think there's like 15 left that I have out there to spread, but we picked up a couple plants. We're going to redo some of those and then mulch them and, you know, all of that. I'm mostly through garage therapy. I've had a really enjoyable experience with it. I have 5 products left, which are sitting right here. Decon Shampoo, DMS, WSR. So this is demineralization shampoo, water spot remover, panel wipe, and CS. So I'm thinking that I'm actually going to do and tar and glue remover. So there's 6, sorry. So I'm thinking that what I'm going to try to do is wrap that up this weekend. And I have a couple ideas on how to do that. First off, I'm going to clean the bends with the Decon shampoo. So that'll give me a chance to try out the Decon shampoo, which I haven't tried yet. We'll see how it is. This isn't incredibly dirty, but it is. You know, there's like dust and stuff all over it. There's, you know, some stuff here on the back bumper, on the side skirts, some stuff here. You know, so we'll get a good shot. We'll test it out and see how it works. Then I thought, well, what I could do is actually introduce some water spots. So I'm going to take this black Hyundai hood that I have back here. I'm going to put it on my front yard and turn the sprinklers on, let them run for a bit because we have like super hard water and it'll definitely water spot it. And then we'll hit it with the demineralization shampoo, see how that does. And then we'll test out the water spot remover and see how that does. Depending on how effective those are, I might end up needing to polish it. And if I polish it, then I'll get to test out the panel prep or panel wipe. I mean, I could do that anyway. So I'll polish it, I'll test out the panel wipe, and then we could try out CS, which is ceramic sealant. So that's gonna be one video, just kind of working through those products on that test hood. I don't wanna introduce water spots to my own car. And honestly, like, because the car is white, you're not gonna see it very well. So I think the black hood is gonna show up better on camera. The other thing is I want to test tar remover, and tar remover is something that's a little difficult for me to test. I use it for like adhesive removal on like computers and laptops and stuff like that all the time. It works fairly well for that. Generally I use CarPro Tarex, and Tarex is a decent product. I've used it for a long time. You can't buy Tarex in California anymore, like legally. I think that there are still some places where they'll ship it here, but technically you're not supposed to. Because there were some VOC law changes in California and Tarex got caught by that. It ended up getting like classified with window cleaning supplies or something like that. And then they made a low VOC version that is California compliant. So I have a gallon of that. So we've got that, we've got the OG Tarex, and then I also have a Novacar tar. I have Mile Deep Resolve, which is a tar remover. I have Yum tar and residue. And then I have the Garage Therapy tar and glue, which is the one that I was really worried about. So I was thinking, well, how can I test a tar remover and do it effectively? Well, like, because I don't make a habit of driving through tar and getting it all over my car. So I've got all these tar removers and some of them I've really never tested on camera. So I thought about it a little bit and I did a roof patch at one point, and I have this Henry Extreme rubberized wet patch, which is a tar-based product. It's asphalt-based, so it should be very similar to the type of tar that they would use on the road for sealant. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get that nice and warm. We're gonna put some of it on this hood, on this white hood, which is another junkyard hood. And then we'll test out all these different tar removers and see how they do. I don't know that it's going to be like the best test ever, right? Like, or the most thorough test ever, but it's gonna be a little, you know, a little gut, and we'll test it out and see how it works. I picked up a new sub for the Mercedes. Well, it's new to me. I picked up a used sub for the Mercedes. And this is what I was talking about with like the audio system stuff. A lot of my equipment I've had for a long time, but also a lot of it is used. So I picked up a Hertz processor, which is in there, Hertz Mini DSP. Or Helix rather, sorry, Helix Mini Mark II. That's what I have. So I picked up the Helix. That's what this USB cable is because I've been like messing around with it and you kind of need it in the driver's seat. And then I got this Focal. It's a K2 power It's like a it's a 12 inch, whatever it is, K230 or something like that, or KW30. I forget the part number. But anyway, so what's cool is that's like a $1,200 sub. Like if you go on Crutchfield right now, that sub is $11.99. And, you know, I wanted one because those are the front speakers that I have are K2s as well. So it's like a nice match, right? And I know that the Focal stuff is good. I was interested in trying that or trying like a Morel Ultimo or something like that, something higher end from either Focal, Morel, or Hertz. Those are kind of the three brands that I was looking at. Because I've had almost everything JL makes. I've had most of Alpine, you know, because I worked at a shop over the years, I've kind of lived with a lot of subs, you know, because my car was like the demo car for the shop. And generally what would happen is like, most of the time people wanted to try out subs. So we would like stick a sub box in my car and then like they would go out and listen to it and hear what it sounded like in my car to decide if they wanted to buy it for, you know, themselves, or if they wanted to get it installed in theirs. A lot of times they didn't have an amp or they didn't have anything. So be like, well, you want to try out this double power base setup or this double Alpine Type R, or the single Type R, you know, all that kind of stuff. So what we would do is I'd pull the car around front and we'd stick whatever sub box in it. And then we just kind of sit in there. And generally I would tell them like, plug your iPhone in and play something. Well, I guess it was iPod at that time, generally. So what I'm getting at is, at the end of the day, whatever sub was in my car, I generally just went home with because I was coming back to work the next day and it didn't really matter. So there was a long time there where like I owned a sub, but it was never in my car. It was a Boston G5, which I actually still miss that to this day. If somebody has like a new Boston G512, hit me up. I'd be willing to buy it. So anyway, long-winded, all this stuff. So I've tried out a lot of different subs over the years. And I wanted something different that I hadn't tried before. I've never had a Focal K2. I've had the FLAC, which is the lower level. And I've never had any Morels or any Hertz. So I wanted to try one of those three brands. And what I ended up finding was this guy had this one on Facebook Marketplace, and he had a Jeep. It got installed in his Jeep, and he ended up trading the Jeep in. It was the end of his lease or whatever, returned it, and had all the equipment pulled out and decided he wasn't going to put it in. He got a Dodge Ram. So the Dodge Ram didn't really have the room for the box, and he didn't want to lose his back seat, et cetera, et cetera. So I ended up buying that for $500 cash. It's really cool. So it's a $1,200 sub, paid $500 for it. It's like new, it's 3 years old. You know, I'm not the original owner. So, you know, I'm not going to have a warranty and that kind of stuff, but generally, like, I don't know. I don't think I've ever really claimed a warranty on a sub. At least I haven't in a long, long time. Or any electronic gear for that matter. Like, stuff tends to work really well. Either it's bad out of box or it lasts forever, it seems. So I got a smoking deal on that, brought it home. It came in a box actually, so I've got a black, it's a cube shaped box though, it's like square. So I put it in the wedge box that I already had in the GLK because it fits a little bit better, it's a little bit tighter up to the seat, so I have a little bit more room. Pad washers, all of the pad washers are paid and shipped. I think I have 2 right now that are here, and I have like 12 people that want them. So I'm gonna have to order like another 20. The downside is that I think it's going to be a little bit more expensive for this next group because I think because of tariffs, honestly, like all of the providers are a little bit more expensive than they were when I ordered the last set. So I reached out to the last company that made them for me directly to ask them if they would be willing to make 20 more and maybe honor the same price that they did last time, but we'll see. So I have 2 that I held back just in case somebody gets a broken one. I'm going to wait like another week or so, and then I'm going to send out more invoices. We'll sell those last couple. Hopefully I'll have some idea on when the ones are going to be here. I don't think it's going to be tremendously more expensive. Like the last ones cost me about $12. It seems like it's going to be like 15 or 16. So I'll end up having to sell them at like $20 plus 15 for shipping. So it'll end up being like 35, 36 instead of, you know, the 32 that we were at, something thereabouts. We'll see. I'll try to make it as reasonable as I can. I've been giving away a bunch of cases of Stay Strong, but I still have, I don't know, 21 of them left. So quite a bit of that to go through. And then, yeah, just trying to figure out what's next. I think after Garage Therapy, I'm going to do Mile Deep for 2 reasons. Number one, there hasn't been a lot of content on Mile Deep, so I'm curious about it myself. It kind of got overshadowed by the release of a couple other product lines that happened right around the same time. And then number two, everything Mile Deep is actually in stock at House of Rags. So if there was something I really liked and recommended, you could actually buy it. Where like there's some Yum products and some Garage Therapy and some other brands that are out of stock right now. Inovacar has some products that are out of stock. So, you know, I just want to make sure that if I like something and I tell you that it's actually good, that you can actually buy it. What else? I'm going to be doing some maintenance stuff on the Mercedes coming up, so there'll be some videos on that. It's going to get a transmission service, which I've done before on camera, but it's been years. So we're going to try to do a better video of that. It's a little bit of a pain in the butt, but we'll do it. And then this is gear oil, so this will be for the rear end. So we're going to do the rear end, we're going to do the transmission, we're going to do an oil change, we're going to do air filter, we're going to do all kinds of stuff, probably spark plugs too. Just kind of go and refresh the whole thing. It has 90,000, 93,000 miles on it. It has good service history, but you know, I don't know exactly when everything was done. So I figure 100,000 miles is like a good time to do a reset. And then we'll just know. Oil was done, the air filter was done, the cabin air filter was done, the differential was done, the transmission was done, the spark plugs were done, like all of that stuff, add 100,000, and then we can just do our normal, and brake fluid. We'll do the brake fluid as well. And then we'll just know, okay, well, I don't have to do the oil for 10,000 more, and I don't have to do the transmission for 50,000 more, and like everything will have a nice reset. What else? Oh, I got another 6 tiles of Swisstrax, so those are going to go in the shed, and that'll finish off the shed. That'll be completely done. I'm starting to mess around with some popcorn. I don't know, I've kind of always liked popcorn, but I've got like Orville Redenbacher or something like that, and it like, I don't know, regularly I end up with a bunch of unpopped kernels in my air popper, or it blows the unpopped kernels out. So I started looking like down this rabbit hole, and I came across this Amish country popcorn. So they come in these actual like individual bags, which is kind of neat because then you don't end up eating a ton of it. I don't know, play around with that, see how it is. And then these came today. These are from Conway, and Conway, comments on a lot of videos, and he's, pretty participative in the chats. So these are actually boxes that you put your BioFresh bars in. So he's 3D printing these. They're pretty sweet. I don't know if he's selling them or not. I'll have to find out. But he sent me, there's 2 for Adamo and 2 for me. So these are kind of neat. You put the BioFresh bar in it, and then you just snap it shut, and it keeps it from, getting on your carpet or, whatever, having the oil kind of seep into things around it. But it's neat. So he asked me what color. I guess he makes a bunch of different colors. I said, just something that's going to be not noticeable. So, black or clear, or gray, or, something like that. I didn't want like bright blue or orange or something like that, because you might see it under the seat. He sent these to me. They literally just arrived. And then there's 2 here for Adamo as well. What else? I got this thing. I don't know if it's going to suck or not. It might. It was cheap, super cheap. So we'll see if it's any good. I mean, I know the Mosmatic one is awesome, but it's like 600 bucks. So this is a undercarriage washer. Comes with like these extensions. And yeah, like I said, I think it was like 20 bucks or $29 or something like that. Like I want to say it was under 30 shipped. It came from Amazon, and I don't know. We'll see how it is. The Mercedes has a little bit of dirt and stuff like that underneath it, and I just thought it would be kind of neat to try one of these out, but I'm not going to use it every day. Like I'm not doing winter washing and stuff, so I didn't think it was worthwhile for me to invest in the Mosmatic, even as nice as it is. Even as nice as it is, like, and as much as I like quality and the whole buy once, cry once thing, I'm not going to use it often enough. I just don't think for it to be worth the $600 that it is. If I was somebody that lived in snow areas, I would definitely 100% buy it, because I would use it all the time. But this seems interesting. It's got like these rollerblade wheels on it. And then there's obviously there's 4 jets. The one that I got says 1,500 to 4,000 PSI. I have no idea like what size these jets are, but they're 1/4-inch thread, so you could swap them out. They look like the MTM ones actually, but they're pretty standard 1/4-inch thread. So you could obviously rejet to something else if you needed to. That would obviously drive the price of the unit up as well. Comes with these 2 wands. They're quick connect, 1/4-inch, pretty standard. So we can do this, and then we could hook our short gun to the end, or you can, can kind of configure these however you want to. So we'll test this out on video at some point and use it. I wanted to spray off the bottom of the car before I get under the transmission service and the rear end service. But you could flip this over too, and you could use it to spray your driveway, which is kind of neat. This is the 16-inch wide version. I think they make a 25-inch wide as well or something. So I'm thinking something like this. I already had this Mosmatic wand, which is like my standard one. And then you could just kind of drive it, do whatever you need to do. And you don't need to get all the way under the car, right? You just need to get like halfway under the car. So I think that would be enough for like this or that Mercedes or an average car of average width. So, and it'll go under something pretty low, as you can see. But anyway, I don't know, we'll test it out, see how it works. I don't know what the pressure will be like or any of that kind of stuff. So I think that's about all for today. I had a lot of fun on the podcast on Monday. If you didn't catch that, check out the House of Rags YouTube channel. It was with Details and me, Christy. Yeah, it was super enjoyable. A lot of you guys came out. There were a bunch of giveaways and stuff. It was just a lot of fun. So I don't know, maybe we'll do that again at some point in the future. And then, I hung these last night too. So I've got these Polka Premium holders, which match the ones that are over there. Just for the small polishers. So this is the one that I use for app. It's an 8mm throw. This is the Mirka, obviously 12mm 3-inch. And then I have the ShineMate ones on the way, the EB212 and EB213, which is their new 3-inch rotary and 3-inch DA. They probably won't be here for another month, but I don't know why, like Australia and the UK both got them before the US did. But whatever. So what I want to do there is I want to see how the ShineMate DA is and how it compares to the Mirka. I don't think there's any way that I would get rid of the Mirka, to be 100% blunt and honest, but we'll see how it is. And I think that the ShineMate might be good enough for a detailer or something like what we do, where this is really designed for more of like being used in manufacturing plants. And then I want to play around with the ShineMate rotary, and I want to see how that is. And I don't know if I'll end up keeping the ShineMate 3-inch rotary or if I'll end up buying the Mirka 3-inch rotary after spending some time with it. I just want to see if like a 3-inch rotary even makes sense or works well. I've been playing around with the 5 inches on camera, as you guys know, and anyway. So that's all I have for today. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.